Beneath African soil lies a fortune: cobalt, lithium, coltan, the minerals powering your phone, your laptop, your electric car. But this story isn't new. Over a century ago, men in suits gathered in a European parlor. They had maps, they had pens, they had ambition. In 14 weeks, they carved up an entire continent. They weren't looking for permission. They were looking for gold, for diamonds, for rubber. The scramble for Africa's riches didn't begin with smartphones. It began with empires. And the ghosts of that scramble? They never left. Welcome to Unwritten Past. November 15th, 1884. Berlin. 14 European nations. 1 American observer. 0 African representatives. Chancellor Otto von Bismarck opens the conference. The stated goal is to regulate European colonization and trade in Africa. The real goal is to divide the spoils without going to war with each other. For 14 weeks, diplomats debate. They draw lines on maps. Rivers become borders. Mountains become boundaries. Ethnic groups are split. Ancient kingdoms are erased. By February 1885, it's done. Africa, a continent of thousands of cultures, languages, and histories, becomes a European chessboard. 90% of the continent falls under foreign control. The Berlin Conference didn't discover Africa. It dismembered it. What were they after? Gold, in abundance. From the mines of the Witwatersrand in South Africa, gold flows to London banks. It backs currencies. It funds empires. British wealth explodes. Diamonds. Kimberley, South Africa, 1871. The world's largest diamond rush. Cecil Rhodes builds an empire. De Beers is born. Diamonds become synonymous with forever, and with fortunes built on African labor. Rubber, the Congo. King Leopold II of Belgium claims it as his personal property. Not even Belgium's, his alone. The demand is insatiable. Bicycles, tires, industrial belts. Europe's factories need rubber. Congo has it. Leopold's agents impose quotas. Each village must deliver rubber. Miss the quota? Punishment. Hands are severed. Villages are burned. Families are taken hostage. Historians estimate 10 million Congolese die under Leopold's rule. Half the population. This isn't colonization. It's annihilation for profit. Meanwhile, in South Africa, black miners work underground in De Beers diamond mines. Dangerous conditions, starvation wages, no rights. The diamonds travel to Europe, the wealth stays there. In West Africa, British and French forces extract gold and palm oil. Railways are built, not to connect African cities, but to move resources from interior mines to coastal ports. Every rail line points one direction, toward Europe. Here's what we don't talk about enough. Europe's industrial revolution doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's fueled by African resources. Gold finances Britain's expansion. Rubber powers factories across Belgium and France. Diamonds adorn the crowns and necks of European aristocracy. African minerals become European monuments. African labor becomes European leisure. The Eiffel Tower, the London Underground, the Grand Museums of Berlin. All built in part on wealth extracted from a colonized continent. Economic historians trace the roots of European prosperity directly to colonial extraction. The numbers are staggering. Trillions of dollars in today's currency siphoned from Africa over decades. And in return, Africans receive borders they didn't draw, economies designed to export, not develop, and a legacy of exploitation that echoes into the present, the 1960s. The wind of change sweeps across Africa. Country after country gains independence. Flags are raised, anthems are sung. Leaders promise a new dawn. But the structures remain. Mines are still owned by foreign companies. Resources still flow outward. The rail lines still point to the coast. Political independence doesn't mean economic sovereignty. France maintains control over the currencies of 14 African nations through the CFA franc. Former colonies must deposit reserves in French banks. Mining contracts signed during colonial times remain legally binding. New governments inherit debt, not wealth. The scramble never ended. It just changed suits. Fast forward to today, China becomes Africa's largest trading partner. Roads, ports, railways. billions in infrastructure investment. The pitch is compelling. No lectures about democracy, no colonial guilt, just business. But look closer. Chinese companies dominate cobalt mining in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Cobalt powers electric vehicle batteries. The green energy revolution runs on Congolese soil. Zambia's copper flows to Chinese smelters. Tanzania's gold enriches new foreign investors. The West notices. The United States launches initiatives. The European Union proposes partnerships. Everyone wants African minerals because the next technological age depends on them. Lithium, cobalt, rare earth elements, graphite. These aren't just valuable, they're essential. Your smartphone battery, cobalt from Congo. Your electric car, lithium from Zimbabwe. Your wind turbine, rare earths from across the continent. Africa holds over 30% of the world's mineral reserves. For some critical minerals, it's over 50%. The global race for green energy is, in reality, a race for African resources. And once again, the contracts are written in foreign capitals. The profits flow outward. The environmental damage stays local. In Congo's cobalt mines, children as young as 7 work in hand-dug pits. No safety equipment, no labor protections. The cobalt ends up in devices that corporations market as ethical, as sustainable, as the future. Whose future? Here's the uncomfortable truth. African nations possess the resources, but they don't control the value chain. Raw cobalt is exported. It's refined in China, manufactured into batteries in Asia, sold in the West. The markup is enormous. The value added happens elsewhere. Why? Partly it's infrastructure. Refineries require investment, technology, expertise. But it's also power. Global commodity markets are controlled from London, New York, Shanghai. Prices are set in foreign exchanges. African producers are price takers, not price makers. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. The same patterns, the same extraction, different flags, same game. But history also teaches us something else, that structures built by human hands can be dismantled by human hands. The Berlin Conference imposed borders and extraction, but those borders don't have to define Africa's future. The colonial railways pointed outward, but new infrastructure can point inward, connecting African cities, African markets, African futures. The wealth that flowed to Europe can stay in Africa, can build schools, hospitals, industries. If you're curious about history beyond textbooks, this channel is for you. Click the subscribe button.